This episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags.
Wow.
Yeah, I was trying something new. I don't know. We'll workshop it.
Definitely.
But you know who's always workshopping? Draggin Bags.
Sure are.
Because they've created some of the greatest bags known to man. They literally increase your PPR. We say it all the time. It's science, folks. So head over to DragginBags.com and take advantage of science. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout, and it's going to save you 12% off.
That's what I'm going to be throwing this weekend.
Hot diggity dog.
Me and Mr. Tom Stranger strutting our stuff.
I want to see some over 10s, all right? And it's
honestly,
capable.
Yeah, it's my game. I
It's
want to.
capable.
That's my
All
goal is to try to average above a 9 for the day.
Let's not spoil it for folks, Sean,
I know.
because we got a whole show to get to.
That's very true.
But before that, just go over to DragginBags.com. Drop code BIGASP12, like I said earlier. Save yourself some money. Get some.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host you know, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. From tossing bags to let's wild ride, tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime.
All right, welcome back to yet another episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. You're sounding a little husky today.
Yeah, man. Started losing my voice like 2 days ago. Just like battling, like on the verge of getting sick, but like I refuse to accept it.
Had nothing to do with crushing beers and screaming for the Cavs for 2.5 hours.
It definitely did not help. It did not help the voice situation at all. But we cheered them to victory.
That we did.
All right, we willed that team to victory.
I'd like to think that we were the sixth man.
Yeah, obviously.
We got it done.
Obviously.
So.
All right, well, before we get into anything else, we have a busy episode. Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
Tell the folks.
Well, we're sipping on jail ale, the Night Train. It's Great Lakes Christmas ale. We call it Night Train because it takes you places you don't want to go. And it's jail ale because you'll probably end up in jail.
I feel like if you're in Cleveland and you're a beer drinker, we've all had that night where it gets you.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm going to have a Christmas ale. Then you have that second one. The next thing you know, you're 6 deep.
There's been several Thanksgivings where like,
oh, dude, it gets everybody.
My
in
wife
trouble.
just went
I
home
love
with
it.
the kids.
Yeah. I love
and
it.
Amy drove me home.
Oh, and we just know it's like it's a mission. Like tip of the cap. Like, I brought the strong stuff. So Christmas ale. I mean, it's been doing it justice for years. I mean,
every year just a little bit different.
It's just whatever season pops is what you get. This year's a great batch. I do love it. Just November is a special time in Cleveland because that's when it finally hits stores everywhere, and you can buy it for the next probably 5 months. To be honest with you, so it's been missing it a bit. Happy it's back.
Yeah, it's a hard pivot from like pumpkin to like Christmas stuff. Like here, it's like as soon as Halloween's over, all the pumpkin stuff gone.
Oh,
and
I mean,
it's all Christmas.
I think that's
sales.
nationwide though. I was disgusted when I walked into Lowe's the other day. Dude, everything was just like Christmas blow-ups. It was like Halloween wasn't even cold yet.
Yeah.
What about Thanksgiving? Nobody cares about Thanksgiving. They just leapfrog it. It's the best holiday.
All right. Well, we're going to continue on this rant. We have more audio gold planned for you all. Obviously.
It's already started, clearly.
We're going to be recapping. There's 2 bigger tournaments this weekend. We're going to recap BagMania and the Badgerland tournaments.
Okay.
We have dramatic readings, and then we're going to be joined by an OG ACL director, Mr. Delaware Cornhole, Mike Napier, and then we're going to be joined by the Cornhole Cobbler, AJ DiSantis.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good interview. So hope you guys enjoy it. But before we get into all of that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
All right, so obviously Saturday night we went to Cavs game.
Indeed.
We were heavy favorites.
Yes.
I had a parlay going. I needed Mobley to give me a double-double. I needed more than 20 points out of Mitchell
Yes.
and the Cavs to win by 12.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say at halftime, I wasn't feeling great about the score, but there was at one point, I think early in the second quarter where we were up by like 15 or 16.
Yeah, we were rolling for a minute.
Mobley had 8 points and like 7 rebounds. Mitchell scored 17 like in the first 2 minutes of the game, it felt like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this can be a good night. And then the Cavs started sucking. Hit all the other two legs hit fine.
Yeah.
But the Cavs had to scratch and claw, and somehow they pulled out that game.
Yeah, and your boy was a pessimist for this bet.
You were.
I bet the under. It was 212, and for an NBA game, that's pretty
Especially for
low
us.
scoring. But both teams are good defensively, and both came off of this was their back to back for both of them.
It's true.
Nets had the double overtime.
Yeah.
We had kind of like a prolific half the game before that, like might go down as the greatest half of basketball ever.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I was expecting a dip, so I went with the under.
But then
and
we
it paid off.
came
But then
out-
I also
we
had
came
Mobley. Oh, we came out on fire
It
again.
was ridiculous.
But everything comes crashing back down to earth.
It does.
Law of averages is
Yep.
always going to prevail, and it did in that game, and we still battled and won. So this Cavs team, man, love watching them right now.
They're fun. They're
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Saturday during the day before I went
Yeah.
to the game, my wife was working, but I told the kids the night before, I'm like, listen, the weather's gonna be halfway decent. We need to get these lights up now and get just do all that stuff today so that I have a habit of like waiting to the last minute on that stuff. And then it's like I have one weekend to do it, and it's like cold and raining, and it's just like a miserable
Yeah,
experience.
it's
So I
supposed
just
to be, though.
told the kids, hey, guess what?
It's Christmas time.
We're gonna put the lights up. We're not gonna turn them on yet, but when is an acceptable time?
Your
to
lights were
turn-
on.
Just while I was setting them up, just to make sure everything was working, everything.
Okay.
But they're not currently on
Okay.
anymore.
The day after Thanksgiving.
The day after Thanksgiving's here.
Yes.
Okay.
I tell my wife, like, we do not have anything Christmas, nothing until
Even with Thanksgiving being so late this year.
I don't care.
Okay.
That's just luck of the draw. Like, yay, less Christmas. All right. So I will, we push it back. I might just like get the tree up because we're going to be slammed with stuff to do that weekend, but like, I'm not decorating it till
Are
Sunday.
you like a hard judger of people that have their?
I
like-
don't like, I mean, I know people love Christmas. I get it.
My wife is one of them by far.
Yeah. And like, to each their own. I am much bigger into food than I
know
am
that.
like the gifts and stuff. So Thanksgiving for me, food and family, like sign me up.
Yeah. And this Thanksgiving for us is gonna be awesome.
It's
so.
going to be epic, especially because I got some great news today. That Saturday after Thanksgiving, I will be making my way downtown to Columbus to go watch OSU versus Michigan.
Oh no shit.
I get to go watch OSU Michigan. I'm
you get
super
those
excited.
tickets?
Oh, the in-laws. So
pretty sweet.
we're gonna head down Saturday and then stay the night and come back up Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So,
I've always wanted to go to.
it sucks
OSU
because I
Michigan.
know families in town and stuff, but like
Oh, you
I
can't
told
pass
Amy,
that
I'm
up.
like, this is like once in a lifetime
Oh, yeah.
chance. So like I'm gonna take it.
Their family, they'll be around forever.
Yeah, but again, OSU Michigan, like that's like a unicorn game. That's
for
like
sure.
one of the greatest like rivalries in sports. And yeah, we're
And
gonna
most of the family's probably going home Saturday or Sunday.
we're
anyways.
gonna get messed up for that game too. So like I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's
Your
gonna
father-in-law's
be,
a good hang.
oh yeah.
We saw him at the game.
Well, and like all of his boys there, like
Oh,
they run deep. I mean, you know him. He just puts up a hand, and like 30 guys are like, "Hey, John!" So
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it'll be a great time. So very much looking forward to that.
social butterfly.
My Saturday afternoon, or probably like late morning into afternoon, hit up a new golf simulator.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, in North Ridgeville. It's called Northridge. We'll definitely go.
Okay.
It was real chill, good simulators, like nothing to complain. It's like BYOB type deal,
Oh, okay.
and like
It
bring your own
very,
food and
sounds
stuff.
very
like-
similar to the place I used to have at one of my offices.
yeah.
2 doors down was a golf simulator. So I used to go and play 9 holes. You know, if I had a cancellation,
Yeah.
just go over there. But they had so many leagues and stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
then
hard to get in.
But then
but-
we closed that office, so I don't go out there anymore.
Yeah, so this spot was nice. It was like 18 minutes from the house.
Okay.
So not a bad drive at all. I think we found a spot that we can go swing some clubs that's not like Brew Kettle's crappy Top Golf stuff.
Yeah, what I want to do is start doing it for like the Browns games and stuff again.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's just so much easier. I mean, I don't even care. Like even at Brew Kettle is not like the best, But
no,
like,
but it's still a chance to swing a club.
Yeah, that's all I
like,
want.
and you
yeah.
know if it goes straight
Correct.
on it, like it does read that.
Well, now that I've been playing a little bit more, like I have that feeling back of like when I know I hit a good shot.
Yeah, and it's all just about muscle repetition, just getting it down.
So we were the last time I played. There's this short par 3. It's probably 140 yards, and it's an elevated tee box, and sun was like just right in our faces.
Yeah,
I tend to hit a pretty high ball. I hit an 8-iron, and I hit it flush. And I told the guys, I'm like, this is. And everyone's like, I lost it. I'm like, it's got to be. It was going at the pin.
Yeah.
I'm like, it felt good. Like everything on it, like probably the best ball I hit all day. Couldn't see it, like just with the shadows and everything. We get up there and it's like 6 feet away. I'm like, I told you.
It's always a great feeling.
Told you.
Yeah, it's nice.
This Cavs game is getting a little interesting here.
That it is. Gotta love Monday Night Basketball.
Was it 76,
Great
73?
All right, we'll check back in later to see how that's going.
Cool.
And then my Sunday, I didn't do much. I bought a new Xbox.
You did.
That was Saturday morning. So I got the Xbox Series X and got Call of Duty. I just told the wife, like, I hit a big bonus at work, and I'm like, listen, I have just wanted to get an Xbox.
Yeah, Christmas just came early.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is.
And she's like, well, do you like, can I just get it for you for Christmas? I'm like, you can, or I could just go buy it today and just get it because there's one up the road. I'll just drive, get it, set it up.
And you can put a bow
And
on it.
I, like, all right, so selfishly, every guy listening will understand this. So my wife was spending the night at a girlfriend's house with their kids for like a sleepover night on Saturday night. And she's like, oh, I'm not going to be back home until like probably 1 or 2 on Sunday. So selfishly, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this Xbox, set it all up because you know it takes forever for everything to upload. And then I have my Sunday morning plans. Let's play some Call of Duty and like get back into it because I loved Call of Duty. I have not played it in forever. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet. So went and got it, did exactly that. And then come Sunday morning,
she showed up early.
Their brunch plans were foiled by a sick child. So I did not get the opportunity to have my morning. I was a little upset because I did log on and like play like 2 games when we got home, or no, a lot more than that. Like when we got home, but I was, just really looking forward to that morning.
Oh yeah.
And then,
there's nothing better than like a veg morning.
Yeah. So then she calls me at like 8 a.m. Like granted, like I'm still sleeping because I stayed up till like 3 playing a couple games of Call of Duty. And she's like, oh, so-and-so sick. I'm going to come home, but like, these are great brunch. Like it's a great brunch spot. We should go. So I'm like, all right, you know what? The consolation prize is brunch. That's true. Okay. I mean, yeah. I can handle that. So she comes home. We go out to Rude Food in Lakewood. Okay. It's known for like its pie and stuff, but like pop up brunch randomly, and it's hard to get a spot. So we get in there. Boy, was it fucking worth it. First off, bring your own alcohol. So like they'll give you like the Bloody Mary mix and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
They charge you $1, and you bring your own Tito's. Sean, we had 2 full entrees and appetizer, 2 Bloody Marys, or 4 Bloody Marys because Amy was drinking Bloody Marys too. Ooh. For $38.
Wow.
It was shit. Fucking incredible, dude. I tipped like $40 because I'm like, this is not right. I felt so bad. But yeah, incredible food. Like it was awesome. So definitely worth that. And then came home and the wife was so tuckered out from hanging out with the youngins the day before. Your boy still got 4 hours of Call of Duty. Just everything just napped for 4 hours. Yeah, I was like, man, this is shaping
so you
up to
told
be a
us
great
like
day.
you're like, hey, all you guys are gonna understand. I get that your plans were foiled, but everything fucking worked out.
Yeah, it was my disappointment in the moment though. Like I was very sad. But like it was all the plans of everything though. Like the reason why I got it on Saturday. Yeah. Knew that I needed to upload the shit for Sunday. Like
so
that was the day.
My Sunday morning was my wife was point person, meaning that she has to be into work an hour earlier than she normally is. Mm-hmm. So she leaves the house at like 5:30, like 5:45. We had ourselves a little bit late of her night on Saturday. Yeah. Enjoyed ourselves a little bit. My son comes walking down as my wife is pulling out. Because I'm thinking like, all right, sweet, I can go back to sleep for like at least an hour probably.
I don't know why, but I always picture Logan like walking down the steps, like just in his underwear, just looking like he just got off like a 2-day bender.
I mean, he has pajamas on, but yes, that's basically what
like,
it is.
Dad, make me some.
Yeah, no, he sits down on the couch. He's like, turn on Spidey. And then like he's in there for 5 minutes and he's like, mini muffins. I'm like, what the fuck? You know where they're at. And he's like,
mini muffins.
Well, he like looks at me. He's like, do you want me to be quiet because Nora's sleeping? Or like, do you want like
just
go
gives
get
you
the
that
mini
side eye, like just give me the mini muffins.
So
now.
I get up and I go down the stairs and I get him his mini muffins, come back up, and of course, like the only TV in the house he wants is like the biggest
TV,
one,
yeah.
like the main TV. And mind you, we have 4 of them in the house. So I'm trying to convince him, hey, go downstairs. So eventually he gets locked in. I actually wandered downstairs, started playing video games. That lasted about 10 minutes before. Hey, what are you playing? I want to play with you. And they're at that age where they're starting to get interested. So like I downloaded this one free game, right?
Yeah.
You play with like this little ball and you're just trying to knock each other off. They did not like the fact that like I would not let them win at all. Like it was just
They got to learn
mercy.
now. Okay.
No mercy. And I quickly realized like, oh, like Logan's already way better than Nora is.
And he
was belly laughing. I should
2
take a
years
video.
younger, 3 years younger.
I let those two play against each other.
Yeah.
And he figured it out. And was just every time he knocked his sister off the ledge, this kid would just laugh uncontrollably. And then he figured out like, oh, Nora's gonna respawn right here. And he just bumped her off as soon as she got in there. It was just cracking up. Nora's getting so pissed. But fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Family stuff.
You know, it just sidetrack real quick.
Yeah.
You mentioned mini muffins.
Yes.
I was at the store the other day. Did you know that they now make jumbo mini
Yes.
muffins? Sean,
Do you know why I know that?
it's called a fucking muffin. Like, why is a jumbo mini muffin?
I think because people like, I don't know, the consistency or whatever of the mini muffin. So they just wanted to let them know, like, same thing, just bigger. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called a muffin.
Just,
Yeah.
I was blown away. I'm like, this literally says jumbo mini muffin. What are we doing here? Jesus, just call it a muffin.
So true, though.
But I'm sure they're delicious.
I have
take
not
it.
tried
You
them.
haven't tried them yet?
I have not tried them, no.
But you
I've been trying to
definitely-
clean up the diet a little bit.
But it
trying to
sparked
stay
your
away from
interest, though, when you saw them?
Well, I knew I didn't know what it was, but Logan's like, he's like, I want a big mini muffin the one day.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Do you
they've been
hear
the
yourself?
same size.
What do I just mash a bunch
What
of them
do you want
together?
me to do? Like, I can't. And then Val comes around the corner and she hands like a bigger muffin. I'm like, what are these? And she's like, they're like the bigger mini muffins. I'm like, why do we have those too?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, they were on sale. So I'm like, of course. Why do I ask? Like, of
Yep.
course.
It's just, they've put a yellow tag on it.
Clearly, obviously. All right. So this past weekend, there's 2 pretty big tournaments.
There was some
going on.
cornholing going on.
So
Oh, I also threw in League. Forgot
yeah,
to
you
mention
did.
that too.
Oh, you
and
did. I
put
forgot.
together some
you had
really
like
good,
a really good day.
nights. Yeah.
You sent me your stats afterwards, which
Yeah.
I always knew. You're not gonna send me the shitty ones.
Yeah. I mean, I only had one that it was just me and JJ just dicking around. Like, we knew it was up.
You had a few above 10 games.
Couple tens, yeah, like 10-4 and a 10-2, but threw really well. Like I told you, I was just I literally told everyone that I faced, I'm like, I am not laying up, period. I'm shooting everything.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is practice. Like, let's get after it.
I treat every game like that.
I mean,
Trying to win anything.
bless his heart. I mean, Dennis Fortney, I mean, he saw the wrath of it. I
did he?
threw my best game against him. Like, literally did not. I'm like, I'm shooting everything, and I did not miss a goddamn bag against him. It was a good one.
It's good business.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just rounding into form, coming into the minor league season. So I'm happy with where I'm at.
There you go.
We'll see where we pop up. He's not going to make his debut this year. It's
Yeah.
going to be in 2025. I'm sorry.
And it sounds like
When-
I didn't even see that the dates had been like kind of released, but that
Yeah, they got a bunch of them out there. So
the Vegas Open in June.
I believe
It's
it's
going to
in
be
June,
for
so
sure.
We'll definitely do that. I think I'm looking at maybe Colorado or Arizona, one of the
Okay.
two.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, basically, I'm just going to try to fill in where needed
Fair enough.
and go throw my little butt off. It's actually a big old butt, but that's all right. All right, on to actual good cornhole players.
All right, so we're gonna start with the Badgerland, and this is a tournament we have not yet attended, but I know it has a very good reputation. It's the Washas. They're
Yeah.
the ones that run it. I've met them in person a few times. It's just always like this. They have the tournament like this time of year.
Mhm.
It's just end of PTO, like, you know what I mean, like start of a new season. It's just like a tough time, but they always get really good attendance at these events.
For sure. Yeah, it's always hits the perfect time.
For sure.
I feel like.
Yep. So you in doubles, you had Ruben and Trader. They won over Sebastian Schaefer Ford and Alex Ball. I mean, Ruben and Trader just kind of right now, like, are they the team to beat in your eyes in doubles?
Right now, yeah.
So would they like if, and we're gonna do it eventually as it gets closer, but like way too early power rankings, they won right now.
With what we've seen recently, I would actually, I think I would put them at 1 to start.
It's hard
off.
not to, man.
I know, and they're humming right along. Like bag change doesn't seem to affect either one. I mean, well, really just Trader. I mean, Jay Rubin's thrown those a million times.
I know Alex Ball had a really good weekend. I think low key keep an eye on Sebastian Schaefer Ford though this year.
I keep hearing stuff about.
Yeah, him. I want to get him on the show. He's like a super quirky dude. He dresses up a lot, but he's a really good fucking player. I keep
hearing that he's throwing really well.
Yeah, so just kind of just remember that name as the season progresses. I'm not saying he's gonna like for sure qualify top 100. You know, it's gonna make it this huge breakout, but I think he's gonna be very competitive this year, and I think this is like a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, for sure.
Third place. Or I guess second in their bracket, Richards and Morales. So love that team.
For sure.
You know what I mean, like I know they're really good friends. Just seems like they would play well together. And then you had Windsor and Walker also take second in the bracket.
Another team that I love.
Yeah.
I low key thought that was going to be the reveal when, Windsor was holding out for a minute. Ethan was still there, so I thought for sure that was going to be the pairing. But
I think Ethan is like a very sought after player, and he's been with the Cat Bags forever.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't want to lose him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's, money does talk.
It does.
Loyalty's a thing.
Don't get me wrong. I'm still very happy about him and Henderson. It's
for sure.
Going to be fun to watch. But
moving on. An interesting team. Third in their bracket. Schroeder and Quinn Reeves.
Okay.
Like kind of contrasting style, but I guess you put a bag in Schroeder's hand and he can always flip it slick side down and just run bags with the best of them. So super interesting. And then Mason Trader continues a pretty like solid like rookie campaign right now. Like just at all these big tournaments, his name keeps popping up. He partnered up with Riker Wells, and they also took third in the bracket. And then one other notable team I thought, I'm happy to see that they had some sort of a good turnout. Bernadette Lopez Jr.
Yeah.
Coming off of last year. Like I expect big things, but are we going to see, oftentimes we have those teams, right? Where they're right there, they're about to break out, and then they're either going to make that big step forward.
Yeah.
Or they're going to just kind of fall off.
Now, you don't think they could just kind of stay? They can't maintain the course?
I mean, I think law of averages would say no.
So with this team this year, I think my early prediction is going to be they're going to end up right around the same area, except they're going to do it differently this time.
Okay,
they're
so you're going to make a big splash.
I think one that gets a big splash.
Yeah, I agree.
But all in all, like I still believe that they're going to be top 20.
They're a team you have to take seriously. Like they are a legit threat to win a national.
For
like
sure.
They really are. And again, the fact that they're throwing the same bags again, like, same company, that does at this level. Yeah, it does matter sometimes.
I think everyone like knows how good Bernadette is, but people always underestimate Lopez Jr. for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I think it's because he was with Richards during their big success, but guess what? He had to throw half those bags.
Oh yeah, he's phenomenal.
And he's really freaking good.
Oh, he's phenomenal dude.
I'm not going to be surprised when they maybe take one down. We'll see.
For sure. In singles, you had Mark Richards winning over Colin Powers. So again, Mark Richards seems like he kind of found his swag again a little bit. It's back-to-back tournaments, so he's taking out the singles victory. You like to see that. You know what I mean? Heading in. I don't know what to think about him and Tony Smith for doubles. I don't know how many opportunities they've really thrown together yet this year.
That's true.
But it's good things that we're seeing out of Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So,
heck yeah.
If we switch it over to BagMania, BagMania is out in California, right? Or Vegas? I'm sorry, Vegas. Vegas. Vegas, always very heavily attended.
Of course.
Again, one of those tournaments that I would love to get to, just timing wise. We just got to figure it out one year. But BagMania for doubles, you had Birchfield and Harbaugh. They took down JBJ and Chamberlain. Again, 4 names, not surprising to anybody. I like seeing JBJ and Chamberlain start to roll again as the season progresses a little bit. BagMania was absolutely fucking loaded with like the who's. It really was. There was very well attended. Again, anytime they have a tournament in Vegas, it just tends to draw the biggest names.
Yeah, I agree.
You had Sammy Soto and Ty Thompson taking third overall.
Love to see that.
Hisner and Trzynski, interesting pairing, but I like it.
I like that pairing too.
They take
I like it a lot.
4th in their bracket, and then 5th in their bracket, tied for 5th in the bracket. Spencer Fabinar and Harrison, and then Luke Anderson and Levi Haddock.
I like it. Man, Levi Haddock, just every tournament that we've covered, his name has been mentioned.
Luke Anderson, if you've been a fan of the show for a while, we've mentioned him quite a bit in TCL events. He's got a really good throw.
Smooth.
I don't know how much he actually plays.
Yeah.
And
He's
I
just
think I
an
talked
athlete.
to him about that. Yeah, correct. So if he really dedicated himself, like I think you can see him be like the next like Chase Lester.
Yeah,
They
he's
like
got
just kind
that
of really
real-
burst through the scenes, but it's always kind of been in
He's
the
just
mix.
so smooth.
Yeah.
When he plays,
Yes.
like, yeah, I really like his game.
In singles, Justin Burton Jr. takes down Logan Dupler. Dupler at one point did not look like he was going to lose to anybody.
Yeah,
His bracket was very, very tough. He
that
had to
kid
go,
seems like he'd be fun. He's a little spitfire.
yeah. I mean, he had to take down Harbaugh and Birchfield. I mean, like his side of the bracket was really, really tough. So he had a really impressive run. Harbaugh and Hunter Thorne took 2nd in their brackets. Trey Birchfield and Gio Mora take 3rd in their bracket. Spencer Fabinar and Chase Lester 4th in the bracket. And then shout out to Rollbag King, Colin Hodet, Michaela Calvi, Ethan Farias, and Ty Lopez all took 5th.
Nice. Hell yeah, Colin. Way to travel
And
and
Spencer Fabinar,
Show
just
up.
every tournament he tends to just kind of be on this list. I mean, in singles and doubles.
for sure.
He's-
He's throwing really well. I mean,
Yeah, he really is. And it's nice to see because there were some other teams that had that college ranking, like Remick,
yeah.
Jackson Remick and Hammond, right?
Yes.
Hammond and yeah. I mean, I think they took they tied like 14th or something like that, or 15th. It's nice to see him kind of like maybe leading that pack.
Yeah,
now.
separating himself a little bit.
He might be like the top dog.
He like his approach to the game to me is like the next gen up, where
He
it's
just has
like
all the shots, man.
you have to have all the shots, but like you use them only when needed.
yes,
Like you're not like purposefully trying to like
Oh, he's a smart player. He is,
exactly.
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's very, very smart in his approach, and I just think it's
Yep.
kind of the next realm up. We'll see.
Agreed.
Throwing tens with rolling bags. I mean,
Agreed.
it's unreal.
You want to do dramatic readings?
Oh, do I ever?
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
Addicted to cornhole. Anthony Lorenzana. Maybe it's Zanya. Serious question. Those that paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for bags a couple years ago, did the investment work out? Or did the bags turn you pro?
Feel personally attacked by this one?
Yeah, how dare he? How dare he? There was a time when people were collecting them. It was like Beanie Babies.
I mean, yeah, that's my thing is like my problem with collecting things always has been like I just lose interest
Yes.
and then I'm on to something else. Like
Yeah.
now I'm like
There's a very
I'm this-
distinct year
I'm
for your
this
bag,
close
for
to-
your cards.
I'm this close to being like fuck cornhole. I'm going all into card trading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, because like I randomly just started watching YouTube videos.
Intriguing.
Oh
as
my
shit.
god, dude! And I love baseball. Like grew up with all that stuff.
Honestly,
So
we might have
but-
to do a Patreon with Barlow, like a Patreon exclusive with
Yeah,
Eric
yeah,
Barlow.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
all into that stuff, and he's super knowledgeable.
yeah, when next
Maybe
time
I'll
there's-
have him on, and he can grade my Griffies.
That would be kind of cool.
That'd be a cool one.
The next time that there's a card show in Cleveland, I want to go just to check it out.
Dude, they have them like once a month right up at Strongsville Mall.
Yeah, I know. I want to go to a big one.
No,
though.
that is a big one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's a big
I mean,
deal.
yeah, I want to try. I just want to go check it out.
Yeah, that one's always a fairly big deal.
In terms of cornhole like bag collection, like OG stuff,
Yeah.
I put mine up there against a lot of people's.
Oh, for sure.
Like I
Yeah.
have a special tub in my garage that I have not opened probably in 2 or 3 years. I mean, I check it on every once in a while just make sure it's good. That I mean, I have all the OG razors in there.
Yeah.
God, I just everything. Like any good bag we've ever had, like custom stuff, is all in there.
Yeah.
Did I spend way too much money? Yeah, probably.
For sure. But guess what? That was
There's
passion.
that COVID money, baby.
Yeah. Hey-o.
I'll spend extra money, man.
My
it is weird.
argument-
It is weird though, like how much has changed in a relatively short amount
Oh
of time.
yeah, I mean it definitely dropped off a cliff. But like my argument is like I'm not going to pay $1 billion for a Jackson Pollock painting because I don't get it.
Yeah, I get it.
But
Yeah.
people do. So fuck off. Like, if you wanted to collect bags and you did it, congratulations. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, correct.
There's no reason to fucking like try to shit on someone's parade.
Yeah, it wasn't always like I was never doing it to like make money off it.
No.
Like I was doing it because like if I bought a bag for like a collection, it was because I wanted that bag.
And you can ask anyone in the area. Pretty much 95% of the cornhole community has bought bags off of us as well.
Oh.
And they're all well below asking price.
Trying to work a deal with this guy on Twitter. He's starting up like a league and he's looking for
Yeah.
used bags. I'm like, how many sets do you want, man? I'm like,
Came to your
I'll-
Huckleberry. Let's
30
go.
I mean, I'll send you 30 sets.
Yeah.
I mean, I got them in my garage.
Dude, I mean,
like,
I
ready to
guarantee
go.
you every trailer park in like an 80-mile radius has like at least 5 sets from me.
So if there is anyone
Like,
like out
they-
there seriously like looking for, I mean, like not to we're not a sales pitch here, but if you are looking for bags or something like, and you don't care if it's like,
Yeah, you're starting a school
stamped or
program or
unstamped, yeah.
something, reach
Dude,
out.
I will give you a very fair deal on these bags. Like,
Exactly.
I get it. I'm not trying to make a profit off these.
Damn, Skip. At least, hey, you are making a profit because that shelf space is worth dollars.
And
It's
honestly,
taking up
that's what it
space.
is. Like I just want it out of my garage.
Yeah.
Like
And
all
believe
these
me, I
bags,
know.
like hundreds and hundreds of bags.
You got to think of it as inventory.
Yeah, correct.
It's just taking up space.
Yeah.
Clear it out.
For sure. Yeah, I think there's one more.
You got another?
Yeah, I do.
Let's do it.
I want to have you read it.
Yeah, your hoarse voice.
All right. Do this one.
Another addicted to cornhole. Ryan Anteo. Eric Joe, why are you not paying out the winner of your tournament and leave before play even ends? Fun Bags Cornhole Lounge. All right, so somebody's not paying out.
So it was
Dipping?
weird. I mean, I was trying to follow along with the comments. It was more just, it was very dramatic. And
Yeah.
I love when people post this kind of stuff. But it was something along the lines of, like they changed like the payout structure, like how like what percentage or something they were going to pay out, or
Okay.
something along those lines. But it's I don't think the guy that was
Jason, is
the guy that made the post. I
Hang
don't
on.
even think he was even at the tournament.
Eric Joe Jason Myletta?
Oh, isn't that fun too? Like, didn't he start something?
Yeah, I guess he started like a school for
Like a finance
yeah, and like
whiz.
how to get your finances in order.
I wonder if he would
Yeah,
come on the show and give us advice.
dude, I'd love it.
Oh my god,
I would love it.
God.
Patreon exclusive.
Seriously.
But anyways, yeah, no, that's. I mean, I don't know. People just. It's always been about the money for some reason in this game of cornhole. When it's
So weird, man.
not even like a shit ton of money. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like certain dollars can change people's weeks and stuff.
Is it because like the cornhole community likes to gamble in general?
Yeah, I think so. I think that has something to do with it. But like, I always feel like there's always been way more eyes on the money in cornhole
Yeah,
than
I
like
agree.
any other organized sport I've ever been a part
Like
of.
when we joined Cleveland Cornhole League,
Yeah,
and I think we took like second in our first time, like in whatever division we were.
yeah,
And then Dave Weiser handed us an envelope,
yeah.
and I'm like, "What's this for?" He's like, "Oh, your payout." I'm like, "For what?"
Exactly.
He's like, "You won." I'm like, "Oh, we win money in this?"
yeah, I just don't understand. Like that's cornhole's fault. They've
Yeah.
always paid all this shit out when you could have just been getting away with handing out participation trophies, and people would probably love it even more.
Yeah. I mean, yours are right up there.
Yes, they are. Bingo. Hardware, baby. All right. Yeah, you can't show the $50 I won with that sitting up there.
And I was gone probably that
On the
night.
drive home,
Yeah,
I stopped
correct,
at
yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
Done.
correct.
Still serving breakfast. Let's go.
I mean, it does. I mean, we've talked about it a bunch. I mean, it's like I hate to see it go that route, but I mean, it is what it is.
I got no. It's not going to change now. It's been going on for too long. It's just people just need to understand that those running the events need to take home something. It's way too much time and effort to put on to not be compensated. I don't care what anyone says.
I don't know if I even mentioned this to you yet. So something was brought to my attention that I thought was at least worth us talking about.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the ACL not approving political designs? I don't think I told you
Oh,
this.
no, you did not tell me this.
So,
Doesn't surprise me, though.
Okay, so this I kind of wanted to get your take. So I posted on Patreon, and I posted it in the light of I was anti like Like I listen, I'm a huge freedom of speech guy, right? Like I think that is so important. And my only concern is if you start, like, why now? Right. And that was my biggest question. If it's always been no political stuff,
Yeah.
then I get it 100%. Like, then you can't, like, you're not going to cross the line. But that hasn't been the case. Because when Trump got shot, there was, I know, at least one very prominent ACL company that had a bag with Trump, you know, pumping the fist with a flag.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not political? So, like, why
it is.
now?
It's just,
And then where does it stop? Like, are we still, like, is the ACL still allowing, like religious stuff then?
yeah, I mean, I
Like,
think
is that okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you draw the line? And listen, most of the comments on Patreon, very well thought out,
Yeah.
right? Like, none of the big sports organizations allow it because you don't want to, like, alienate. I think it was Hoffman, if I was wrong, but he quoted Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He has a famous quote about even Republicans buy sneakers too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I get you don't want to alienate one side of it. It just seemed like the two designs that I was shown that weren't approved, I did not think that they were, like, offensive in any way. They're very, like, they just have the number 47 on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. And
It's I don't know. I get the stance. I do. It's a safe stance. My biggest thing, and I will never know, what would have happened if it was the other way?
yeah.
Would it have still been?
Well, we will never know.
We will never know.
You know, that is part of the issue, but I actually agree with them just nipping in the bud now.
No, yeah.
Being done. There's so much
My
divide
thing is just,
with
again,
all this shit.
just stay consistent with stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I ever ask. And again, like, I know I'm stirring the pot a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, I think these are the types of questions that, like, need to be brought up.
But we also know that cornhole leans one direction pretty heavy.
Correct.
In my opinion.
Well, I mean, the country does.
Yes. It's just why just create the divide, like, within
I
the
agree.
community? Just
I agree.
because then, I mean, granted, for us it sucks because I would love to hear the
Here's my
big.
biggest. What makes it political? Is it the number 47 that it's then?
Yeah.
Just because it's implied? Because then what are we doing for, like, 4th of July bags and all the patriotism? So, like, patriotism bags are okay. It just can't be political.
It can't be politically based.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I don't even consider the 47 political because it works both ways. It
Listen,
doesn't matter who won.
and
it's just
honestly,
about
in
the
2 weeks,
47.
no one's going to know the significance of 47. anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody remembers what number.
If I'm a bag
president is.
maker and I came up with a design that I thought was relatively neutral, I'm pissed because I'm looking at it as they're taking potential sales out of my pocket.
Yes,
Like, you know, there's a slam dunk.
for sure.
Like, that people are going to gobble those up real quick. But
Yeah,
again,
I mean,
as long as there's consistency across the
myself
board, I get it.
included. You know,
Maybe.
I'll take one of those.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I
But
just, yeah, it was. I don't know. It's a weird. The timing of it's definitely weird, but I get why the timing as well.
yeah, I
Because
get
we
it.
really saw some ugly shit happening.
Yeah.
Earlier on, like, it was not pretty what was going on social media. But hey, it's already kind of fizzled out, and
For sure.
people have forgotten because it's Christmas time. All right, hey,
Well, and it's like, if we're talking, like, if we're really wanting to be, like, super safe, they still allow bag names as, like, assassin and, like, the names
Trigger
of guns.
words, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a fine line. Like, where do you really draw the line in the sand?
yeah,
Again, I think you should be able to express yourself however you want. But again, if it's a private league and you're signing under and you want to offer their stamp, you got to follow their rules. So,
yeah. I mean,
but just tread lightly, I guess.
I mean, for me, it's like, could they name a bag like, or what about like any of
Those
it?
would be pretty crazy.
Right? I don't know. Maybe someday.
You've been wanting to do that for so long. I saw you slowly setting it up.
I was like,
what is he
where,
gonna
where is it at?
I know. I'm like, what are you going to click over there? We got to organize that better. All right, you want to cue the rap horn?
That's organized.
Yep. What kind of, like, long?
Okay,
Good.
I'm good now.
Are you sure?
All right.
I knew. I
Ugh.
could see it in your eyes that you wanted to press it one more
That
time.
was so satisfying. All right, Sean. Thanks again to our sponsor, Draggin Bags, the greatest bags in all the land. Head over to dragbags.com. Drop code BIGS12 at checkout. Save yourself some money.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You can find us on, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Big Ass Cornhole, all those.
Yeah, and Facebook's the last one at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast because we can't drop the Cornhole part. Thanks, we'll just carry on, and thanks to our Patreon members. And what's Patreon? Just go to patreon.com/Big Ass Cornhole and give it a whirl. We post some stuff and
the bonus content,
interviews, and all kinds of fun stuff. We'll be getting back on the happy hour train, I believe, next weekend.
Yeah, I think so. That's the plan.
As long as you're, back home in time, we'll probably let it rip on Sunday. Recap the Hamilton Open with some peeps. It'll be fun. So
for sure.
Head over to Patreon, give that a whirl, and we greatly appreciate it. It's support us, supporting you guys.
More stickers went out this week.
Yes, and love you all dearly. It's it helps us do what we do.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the interview. We're going to be joined by Mike Napier and AJ DiSantis, or as he's known in the cornhole world as the Cornhole Cobbler. If you're a Patreon member, I had interviewed AJ when I was in Delaware before. It was a short 10-15 minute interview, just kind of getting it down. So I wanted to bring him on the normal format and see what he has to say.
Hell yeah. Love it.
And I've heard good things about Mike, so hopefully he doesn't let us down. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the interview. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
And welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast, where we are now joined by Anthony DiSantis and Mike Napier. So, gentlemen, thank you for coming on with us. Sean's voice is...
You did really well.
Right? Yeah. Did you think I was going to mess up a name or something?
No, I was kind of... I mean...
That's your job, Sean.
I was secretly hoping you were going to.
Yeah, but
selfishly.
I know. I mean, I didn't know if Anthony, I should have called you like Mr. Cobbler. Yes. I'm not sure how you like to be addressed, but
AKA.
Yeah, we'll keep it
AJ
formal.
Cobbler. I'm good with it.
The Cobbs.
So, Mike, I feel like this has been a long time coming, man.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are awesome. I listen to you all the time.
Thanks, dude.
If you hop around the internet, I always like to engage the community.
Oh, yes.
But you guys do a good job of getting the stuff out there, and especially anything that's the hot topic of the week. So I always love to follow along. And the most important thing is, a lot of topics are area specific, but people try to make them nationwide, right?
Oh, of course.
So I love to see your guys' take, especially being in Ohio, and see what's going on.
Very true. I think our first interaction, like somewhat through Messenger, was I was going to Bethany Beach for like the first time, and I was trying to figure out like if Delaware had any cornhole. And I talked to a few people. I think Tom Stranger was actually the one that put me on to you and told me to reach out. And he told me all about you guys' league night and stuff. And I was going to go out, and then I realized like, oh, it's like an hour and a half away from like where I'm at. I'm like,
Bit of a
I
haul.
don't know if the wife is going to be good with that, but so yeah. So in general, how did you find yourself getting involved in like running leagues and like now being like an OG ACL director? And
so, truth be told, I mean, I'm an OG director, but I feel like I'm still not. Like, I don't consider myself one. Delaware Cornhole has been around since 2014.
Okay.
It's an OG league for sure. I didn't join until 2017.
Okay.
I didn't become a part of like running stuff till 2018.
Okay.
Andrew Lehan, who's still my partner, who abandoned me and moved to Florida. He's put a lot of this stuff in place. And then Brian Wire was one of the original owners as well. And I actually took the place of John Kitchen, who you guys all know,
yes,
of course.
Kitchen.
He went to pursue his pro aspirations, which I'm glad he did because he had some big moments.
He did.
So 2018, I hopped on board, and we've never looked back. I mean, we've grown ever since, of course. And that's how I found myself running leagues. I mean, before I even knew cornhole existed in the real world, I mean, I used to run backyard tournaments at my house every year,
okay.
which was a big party. We'd have 60 people here, and I mean, we're going back in 2010, 2012, so it really was a long time coming, but every time I talk to somebody about these cornhole tournaments that were going on, they'd be like, these guys are wearing jerseys and throwing these Frisbee throws. And I'm like, all right. Well, once we joined on, and we got hooked for life, it seems.
Now,
So
what
it's been a long
have your
time.
numbers been like so far? I mean, obviously it's early this year, but like how have the numbers panned out? Like compare like to other years or right around the same time?
So for in general or for the ACL?
In general, I'm curious.
In general, our numbers are always pretty steady.
Okay.
We have a league that sells out. It's a Wednesday night league.
Okay.
I used to cap it at 48 teams. I got it 60 teams right now, which is way too many.
Okay.
It sells out every season, every year. Our Thursday night league was our claim to fame, which again, Andrew Lehan really made big and did a lot of stuff with. We average between 75 and 100 teams in that league.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So our numbers stay steady. Where you see me make a lot of noise on the internet is it's really the venues that suffer through a lot of, I don't want to say we were at the front end of a lot of stuff from a growth standpoint.
Yeah.
Second smallest state, but biggest leagues. But now you just have a lot of spread out situation going on, right? So people are playing 4 or 5, 6 days a week. They can't drink 4 or 5, 6 days a week. I mean, some soldiers can, but
Yes.
So that's where you see a lot of when people say it's spread out, it is spread out. It's just spread out over, multiple 20-player venues instead of 200-player venues, if that makes
No,
sense.
it does. It does. Do you think that's an issue for the future?
So I do. A lot of people don't agree with what I say. Now, again, I'm just speaking from my area, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
My area was in front of a lot of this growth. The problem I see, and I tell my league players this, so I don't mind offending people, but the problem I see is the 7.5 PPR to 8.5 PPR player is the most difficult player in the world to satisfy, right? Because they're not the greatest player in the world, but they think they are. And what you start to find, and you see this negativity on the internet about the ACL and other things, they want to be the best player in the room, but they don't want to necessarily be the best player in the area, right? So that's where when you have 20 tournaments on a Saturday, you have them looking, where's the best place I can play without playing the best person, right? And that's the biggest change now versus a couple years ago, where I feel like a couple years ago, everyone just wanted to be the best, right? They just wanted to go play the best, be the best. And now it's shifted a little bit. And
Well, how do you fix that though?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the Cleveland area and like how many people that statement pertains to.
Oh yeah.
It's astronomical. Like as soon as you said the 7.5 to 8.5 being the difficult ones, like instantly like the Rolodex goes through my head and I'm like, oh yeah.
That's like the majority of like,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's the
And
majority
it's-
of players.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the majority of players.
but they're also the ones that show up, you know what I mean?
Yes.
To every event.
Four
you
or
know what I
5
mean?
days a week. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
correct.
right. Yep. So I don't fault anyone, right? And I tell people all the time, I don't care where you play, I don't care what you do. But that's where I think personally, and I could be wrong, where the negativity you see on Addicted to Cornhole and all these other places come from the ACL standpoint, right? Because these guys go to their local league nights, they're a 7-8, they think they're advanced, then they go to an ACL regional or whatever. You got guys shooting 8.2, 8.5 and competitive, right? Because they're playing nothing but ACL and that's what they're trying to do. So it is when the divisions came out, because if you remember 5, 6, 7 years ago, everybody's just happy to show up to a fundraiser. There's 80 teams
Yeah.
and nobody says
Correct.
anything about anything.
That was UFC 1. Just
Right, exactly.
anyone walks in, like let's see what happens.
Exactly. And now it's like, I need 6 divisions to make everybody happy. You know what I mean? And then even then it's like, not everybody's going to be happy. So we try to balance it, right? So we run a mix of open tournaments, cap tournaments. We always have a backyard tournament. We try to cater to everyone. But that's the challenge we're going to see moving forward, I think, is the people that realize they're never going to be a pro don't want to play the pros anymore.
Now, why did you ultimately decide to go the ACL route and become like an ACL director?
So we were like one of the first ones in, like
Okay.
2017, I believe it was, even before I joined Delaware Cornhole. And I did not sign up for that, but it was the right thing to do at the time because, I mean, the writing was on the wall. The ACL had their stuff together, and they were gonna
I agree.
At the time, we were the only ones anywhere around, really. Joe Harsh is one of the original ACL directors up north of us.
Yeah.
So between the first 6 years of the ACL, I mean, between us, Joe Harsh, and Ashley Curtins in Virginia, we were all number one in ACL, back and forth the first several years. And it just seemed like that was the place to go. And it still is. I mean, I block out the negativity. I'm not the spokesman for the ACL, right? I'm not going to argue with everybody on the internet, but there's a lot of inaccurate things, which you guys correct a lot of the time that you see on like Addicted to Cornhole and play.
Or we embellish it.
Yeah.
Either way.
Or embellish it too. Now,
so real quick, I just want to let you know we've grown. In 2023, for the entire year, we threw 529,000 rounds. In 2024, so far, with still half of November and December to go, we've hit 550,000 rounds.
Wow. Okay.
So we're putting some rounds out there.
Is that rounds or individual games?
Oh, this is rounds count.
Okay. I mean, so you could make the argument that less games are being played, but everyone's just getting better and games are lasting longer, or they're getting worse.
I can pull that information too, but rounds was easier to find.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, them 8-5ers love to throw 25-round games.
Correct. So you guys have been involved with the ACL since 2017. Since like their infancy stage, right? So now that they're
at the beginning.
Yeah. So so what do you think about, especially going into this offseason? Because I feel like there's been a lot of changes just in general format. I think one of the things that probably affects you guys the most is this concept of they're going more state based rather than kind of the conference based. So did you like that move, going to more state versus conference?
Truth be told, state based is the worst thing in the world for me.
Okay.
Now,
because you live in a weird area, right? Like, aren't you real close to like New Jersey?
Yeah, you could have like 12 states there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm 7 miles from 4 states from where I'm sitting right now. 50%, I think last check on Scoreholio, we had 2,400 players. Obviously, some of those are inactive, whatever, but 2,400 league players. I'd say, and this is probably not an exaggeration, 50 to 60% are not from our state. Because, they're 7 minutes down the road.
Well, you guys only have like 1,100 people living in Delaware, so.
Right, exactly. We have less than most people, right? So, it hurts me for state tournaments, right? Like Dover Downs, I ran a huge tournament there in last March, and that was the same time as West Virginia Open, which was a last minute scheduling conflict. They had over 700 players there. I had 430, and we were less than 2 hours away. And for my state championship, I think I had 30 players.
Okay.
Same weekend, same venue, same place. I had, I was running tournament after tournament all over the place. But out of 34 players, give or take, whatever, it doesn't matter. Out of 434 players, 30 of them played in the state championship. That's insanity, right? Like, that's crazy.
It is. Yeah, that's nuts.
So, I'll have a successful interstate event when the time comes.
Yeah.
My state championship is just never going to be, it doesn't match what I do. It's just, I'm handicapped for sure.
But I don't think you're alone, though, because, we've been talking about the spread out of cornhole, all these blind draw stuff coming out, people playing, not getting as involved in leagues, maybe, because it's just, you don't want to take that 40-minute drive into a league when you could go play at the bar 10 minutes up the road. I think we're going to see the state tournaments all, like, maybe not like in the next 2-3 years, but down the line, they're all going to be whoever thinks they got the sauce, and that's the only ones that are going to show.
Yeah, it's going to be the best of the best.
Yeah. And I think that's going to come down the line. I mean, we're going to see numbers just kind of trickle down until it becomes that. I think, you're just kind of cuffed because of boundaries and a tiny state with a bunch of states all around you. I mean, it kind of sucks.
But people can still claim you
Nope.
They can't anymore. So like if you lived in New Jersey, but you always went to the Delaware Cornhole stuff, you can't go to the state tournament.
Nope. That was the talk. That was what I, of course, was pushing for. Right.
Yeah. No, that would make sense, I guess.
It should be like your closest club and their affiliate state. That should be who you can claim. Because,
Especially
you know,
in, like,
who
this
knows? They might
situation.
have to still drive 2.5 hours for their state tournament. You don't know.
So I understand why that's not the case, right? Because you could see where that would be a problem, right? If you live in an area that you're 2 hours away from state X, and you're the best player in state X, but you're the fourth best player in the state you live in, right? Now you're going to start having guys just claim the next state over so they can go win that state
God
championship.
damn it, Jimmy
right?
Humans.
Man, I guess it is a state championship, not a club championship.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's,
I get it.
So, I mean, I kind of like, I'm not crying sour grapes here because, I mean, I get it. I
Yeah.
get why. It's just one of those things that's unique. You know, we can draw players from all these states, but for our state championship, we're never going to get it going. Just based on a population thing. I mean, we're a very weird state. Like you mentioned Bethany Beach,
Yeah.
right? So Bethany Beach is 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
But Maryland, PA, and New Jersey are 10 minutes from where I'm sitting.
Correct.
So it's a weird state. Now I spend all summer down the beach, not far from Bethany where you were.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm familiar with down there and spend a lot of time down there. And we got a lot of players that come up from down there.
Yeah.
But it's a hike to ask them to drive past 5 tournaments to get to me on any
for
given
sure.
day.
Oh yeah.
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 And
I was just happy I found something. You know what I mean? Like it's and
that's a good tournament down there in the summertime. The Salted Brim, I
Yeah.
think, is great. And Donald runs that. He's a great dude.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
great.
They've always been
So-
very hospitable. I've always had a really good time going. I just want to be able to play better when I go there because like the last 2 years I've just been garbage. It's been so embarrassing.
Well, I mean, it's your one little lick of freedom on your vacation.
Well,
so I
and
think
it's
you
not
just,
actually.
you just go ho hum.
Yeah,
you know?
correct. Well, and this year I was trying to get a bunch
I
of
drove 2
contact.
hours to come down and meet you down there.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Like it was a work night. Like, I was there to get interviews and a whole bunch of stuff, and I had plenty of time for that because I ended up getting kicked out.
And
so.
I mean, that's your own
Oh, I know.
MO. Because
Oh, I know.
I didn't tell you to go get content.
No, I know.
Enjoy your vacation next time.
I get it. I get
Then
it.
you'll throw better.
Yeah, but if I get content, like I'm allowed out. Yeah, I mean, like it's like, oh, I have to.
Fair
do
enough.
this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Need to. I mean, it's not like she's going to
Why-
watch it
why do you
anyways.
I joined Delaware Cornhole in the beginning. I was like, if I joined Delaware Cornhole as a owner,
Yeah.
then I have excuse to play cornhole all the time.
This whole thing was birthed out of me and Dane doing a cornhole league in Cleveland because I needed to get the fuck out of the house. Like I was straight from coaching, and then I stopped coaching, and we had a baby at home, and I was just home all the time, and I'm like, I am losing my motherfucking mind.
Yeah.
like
I was
to get out of the
coaching
house.
too, and then my
Yeah.
shit blew up, so I didn't have anything going on either.
By the grace of God, Cleveland Cornhole just happened to have an opening. We had met Dave Weiser at some random charity tournament like the Q, made buddies with them, and he reached out. He's like, hey, I have a spot open if you and your brother want to go in. And then the rest is
It
history.
also helped that we, like took third in our first ever tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
Top
you know,
ball, there is
it was fun.
chasing that forever.
yeah, I mean, we got a high five from Adam Hissner after we saw him on ESPN like 2 weeks prior. So that was like, oh my God, this guy's famous.
Yeah, like,
And
oh my
little
God.
did I know, he's just Adam Hissner.
Look how good he is from his knees.
He was really good from his knees. His wife would be proud.
So the one thing I wanted to bring up, you run a pretty big tournament every year in September. How did that go?
So Paradise Grill is awesome.
Yeah.
If I must say so myself. It's a unique tournament. That's why I love it. Right.
Yeah.
So we started in 2019 before Scoreholio was big, before these divisions were big, whatever. We had no idea what we were getting into. We ran a double elimination bracket on Brackalope. I called every single game, and every single game was reported back to me. And it went awesome. It was one of those days where it's supposed to rain, never rained. It was the prettiest day in the history of the world. Ryan Smith and Devin Harbaugh put on a absolute show, and that catapulted into where we are now. And people ask me all the time, they're like, how do you get away with this one big tournament with all these different, there's 20 to 40 pro teams and a bunch of Joe Schmoes and then everybody in between, right? And it's like I tell everyone that asks me, it's an event. It's not a cornhole tournament.
Yeah,
It's
which
a
is
cornhole
important.
Yes.
And it's still straight double elimination. It's and truth be told, the owner of Paradise Grill makes the tournament. Like I can't even take credit for it. Like, he is the greatest host in the history of the world. He gets sponsors in the middle of the tournament and starts raising the prize pool. Like, we started at 20 or 25,000. I don't even remember anymore. Guaranteed. By the end of the tournament, it's 33.5. He's just announcing that first prize went from 10,000 to 15,000 while these guys are playing, and everybody's hyped. And of course, Orange Crushes always taste good.
Oh yeah.
You got 400 cornhole players, but you got 800 spectators just there drinking, hanging out, having a good time. It really is not to, overplay. It's a great atmosphere. Like, it's not a Spencer's, right? I know everybody tries to compare it to Spencer's sometimes when it comes up. It's not that big of an area. But from an atmosphere standpoint, it is the most fun. It is literally the tournament that keeps me running tournaments, right? Because I'm always re-energized after that tournament.
Well, you guys are also the Northeast. I wouldn't expect California feel out in the Northeast. I want that grit. I want that grime when I'm out there.
Correct.
I want to, see maybe somebody smash a beer bottle over their head.
Oh, it could happen.
Exactly. Like, that's what I would expect from out there.
You got a wide variety of people down at Delaware beaches, right? Because you got transplants from everywhere. You got and you never know what you're going to see down there.
I was trying to remember the point I was going to make.
That's a great point.
Remember the end of the tournament. I think I've been to 3 of them, and I've only seen the finals at 1. Those Orange Crushes hit hard.
Oh, well, they sound like
they don't hit hard. They slap right. All right.
I think tournaments like that are so important for the overall growth, because if it's somebody's first event that they're ever going to, and you go and you take them to a regional, right? It's a completely different feel than something like an independent, like, big ass tournament like that. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. Like, it's just, I think it's very important, and people don't realize that enough right now. How important that is.
Honestly, if you're like new to the sport and you go to that one big tournament like that and have a blast, then guess what? Exact same thing as us. You just get hooked, and
then you're gonna go find a local league to get involved with. And
because I remember when after we played in that tournament, like, first we were in awe that we were throwing just like inside of where the Cavs play. Like, it was just cool to be in that building throwing cornhole there. Yeah. And that, like, instantly hooked us. So, like, throwing a big event that people enjoy and just have fun. That's where it starts, man.
Well, and I think, AJ, we talked about this before. I think it's a huge opportunity for professional players. And one of the charms of this game is still that we get to play against them. Like, you know what I mean? Even though, like, we're not pros, like, we can go to these independent tournaments and still play.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that the players are approachable.
Yes.
And they need to remember that, like, whether they're playing at, like, a world championship or not, like, they're still representatives of not just the ACL, but, like, our game at the highest level. I mean, regardless of what league you are. And if you make a positive influence on somebody, you know what I mean? Like, you're not a dick, and you make good conversation, or, you allow for someone like the Cornhole Cobbler to go up and get an interview. Like, that kind of stuff's important for, like, the overall growth. And I've said it before, all the pros right now, they're still the pioneers of whatever the professional game is going to be eventually. And it's up to them whether they like it or not. Like, you gotta just, shake hands, kiss babies when you're out there.
Yeah. And honestly, like, you can't see yourself as, like, above it.
Yeah.
Because it's a very unique spot that we're in cornhole. Like, our generation and the generation before hasn't really seen, like, many sports try to, like, come to fruition the way that cornhole is. If you go back in time to seeing, like, OG baseball and stuff, like, way back in the day, all those players were super accessible and made the sports what they were.
Well, it's already changing this year.
Exactly.
I mean, if you go to an open, to me, like, that's one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out if I like separating the pros and the elite, because then, like, when I go to the tournament, it's like, it's the same feel I had in Spencer's, where they have, like, the MVP area, like, right in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's like all, like, the have-nots, like, just getting to look at, like, all the, the important people in quotes, like, in the middle of this area. So now, like, the charm of it, like, oh, I might get to go against and play against, like, Jeremiah Ellis or Devin Harbaugh or something. And that would just be awesome. Even though I don't expect to win, like I can
it's
say
still
I played
sweet
against
to
them.
face them.
Now you don't even have that anymore at Open, so it is kind of going that
Which,
route.
yeah, I mean, it's argument to be made that.
Which I get.
I mean, we've always said too, iron sharpens iron, and you're not getting that now.
It's true. AJ, what was your experience at like going up to the pros and stuff across? Were they for the most part pretty open to?
So you gave me some really good advice and said that some of them might think that I was weird and they'd be a little awkward around me. And God, that was true for the first 3 that I went up to.
Yeah.
We want names. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Well, look, they're probably not old enough to be mature yet.
Yeah.
So I can leave it at that. But I was telling them I'm making trading cards. I was like, because you're playing at Paradise, I'd be interested in making one. And I told him, I was like, I don't know what your ACL contracts are like. I don't want to infringe on anything. But would you be interested in having a trading card made? And yeah, only the first time I did it, they were like, yeah, I'll talk to someone about it, and walked away. I was like, that did not go the way that I planned.
But we told you can't invite them into your van and tell them you're going to take pictures of
like
them.
we got
right?
we walked you through this. Okay.
Yeah, well, you should have seen me for Halloween. I grew a mustache because I was Mario.
Oh, okay.
It looked like I had a white van with candy in it.
Oh, for sure. Yes, I could still see that.
But every other pro, they were down to earth, and they were like, yeah, a couple pros asked for final approvals, but I got their autographs, so I'm going to make some autographed playing cards, and I'm going to scrub all the ACL material from it, so that way it doesn't infringe on anything. But yeah, Logan Chamberlain was like, oh, I just got into collecting cards. I'm into breaks. He's like, me and Kano and JBJ, this is what we're doing right now.
They're always into something.
Yeah.
Those guys. Yeah. I love it. I love those dudes.
That crew is just fun to be around.
So for people that are listening and they maybe they haven't stumbled across, can you break down your alter ego, Cornhole Cobbler, and like why you started doing it, like how long you've been doing it?
So I get one night out a week. And I live in New Jersey. It's like a 40-minute trip for me to go to league nights, and there are definitely much closer tournaments. But if I want to get better, I got to play with the best, and that executive league is the largest. So I travel the 40 minutes, and I got hooked. This is my stress relief. I'm a teacher, and I started playing during COVID, and life was extremely stressful. So I got real big into it, and I like the numbers. I like the stats. I like to see trends. And one time someone was like, oh, who do you think's going to win the league this year? And I put out a response, and people started tearing into my response. I was like, this is bullshit. So I ended up coming up with predictions on who was going to win the leagues, but I didn't want to put my own name to it. So I started sending them out anonymously. And then Drew Lehan, the guy that used to run it, he would post it all for me. And then I was like, man, I've been doing this for a couple seasons. I need some kind of alter ego. So again, it's not like it took me long. I was quick thinking, and I was like, oh, corn on the cob, cobbler. Cobblers make shoes. I make predictions. So
Worked out
literally,
well.
That's how it came. Very, very corny, but I'm cool with it.
So you're not making the first cornhole shoe.
No, I do actually have.
I knew you were coming with some like weird dad joke. I felt it.
Yeah, you just feel it, just marinating.
I did. It's crazy.
But yeah, people get really butthurt about predictions, and if you don't rank them where they think they should be ranked. So, and then I had a lot of people that were so interested, they started sending me other venues and such. So I started writing out people's predictions, and again, nobody knew it was me. But I was putting it out there under my name so that way everyone could remain anonymous.
Yeah, for sure.
And at one time, I had a team of like 4 or 5 people, and we were coming up with the top 10 players of Delaware. But I ended up having some bias in it where there were some players that we just overlooked because none of us had seen them play. And I didn't think that was fair. So now I primarily do a top 10 of Delaware's players. So every week I look between 150 to 400 players, and I rank them based on PPR, DPR, podiums, how many rounds they threw. But all of it, I've taken my own opinion out of it all, just so that it can remain constant week after week.
Well, that's boring.
at the end of the year, like last year I did this, but I didn't run a tournament. I just handed out some payments for the top 10. This year I'm doing a king or queen of Delaware Cornhole tournament. It's going to be 10-round limited, single elimination, because we do it at I'm doing it at our Christmas party.
Okay.
So I don't want to take away all their time from playing and having a good time.
Yeah.
So this is how I'd like to get our Christmas party started, with this short little tournament to crown the king or queen of Delaware Cornhole.
For sure.
So I've been adding up their rankings throughout the year. And but another reason that I did this is I get one night out a week. I want to keep the high competition, even though all these other clubs are forming. So here's something for that top competition to play for. This year, we're going to be playing for 600 cash free roll, along with trophies. I got people donating prizes. I got some awards that I'm going to hand out to recognize some of our players. And next year, I'm just trying to get big enough to where I can focus on our general player base as well, not just our top 10.
Okay.
But I also was talking to Ben Budu, and I was like, look, where I pull my stats from, can I get our club put in there? So that way I can only reward members of our own club.
Yeah.
Again, it's another push, because I'm right now I'm doing all this work for free. Like, yeah, I'm getting sponsors and help and shit, but I'm not pocketing a damn thing yet. Everything's going back to the club.
Welcome to Cornhole.
Yeah. It's like, wait, we're supposed to make money doing this?
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell. We're still in a basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
This is original knotty pine behind us on these walls, all right?
Yeah.
It's a passion, and it's something that I enjoy, so I'm going to push it out there, and I want to try and make a reason for people to keep coming back to Delaware Cornhole, so I can keep trying to get better.
I think as a marketing tool, it is important though. Like, you know what I mean? It's cool to see your name like mention something and like you doing, performing well. When we all go in there, it's nice to get a little pat on your back every once in a while.
For sure.
So I love to see what you're doing. I think it's creative. I think no one else is really doing it like for like a league like this, and you take it to a whole different level. I mean, when you're showing me your laptop when I was in Delaware, the spreadsheets that you go through. I mean, I know it's a lot of time, man. So I tip my cap. Like, I know it's, again, like you're doing it for nothing, but you have to love it. You know what I mean? And keep doing it.
Yeah.
As long as you love it, man, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, that's really the biggest thing. If you're still getting time, enjoyment out of it, but your time is also valuable. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I still enjoy it. So it's not that it's a grind yet.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some weeks where it's a grind, but for the most part, I'm excited to see my own stats. I'm excited to see where I rank up.
Oh yeah. Listen, we're in the same boat. Like,
very true. it's
a grind, but you gotta, it's a consistency thing. If you're consistently putting your name out there, more people are going to see it. It's just law of averages. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't miss a week. You know what I mean? Like, that has been my biggest thing since we started the show. We have not missed a week of this in over 5 years now. It's just like, we're going to put out, something's coming out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We'll find a way.
We're going on vacations, or we're going to record ahead or something. But yeah, if you just stay consistent, but I love what you're doing. I love the idea of the playing cards is very cool. I know, like, didn't Topps or somebody come out with like playing cards?
They
like,
definitely had them done.
Yeah, like a few years ago. Cause like I remember like Arcangelini got like a card made and stuff like that.
They did it a couple seasons, I feel like.
Yeah.
But that's only if they like wanted to agree to it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think they stopped doing it because like only 50% of the field said yes. They just kind of dropped it.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I know. I would love to get a card. Let's get a Dwayne card going.
We're gonna have to.
We'll get one printed.
For the Aviators jersey.
Yeah. Ooh.
Look, you guys are getting a big ass card.
Hell yeah. We're gonna post it.
Can it be twice the size? It'd be like a folding card so that it has both of us on it. It's the only thing that'll fit us both.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Limited edition.
I got 100 cards that have to be created. So
we'll
take a look at that.
We had some listener questions. I'm going to pull those up.
We had a bunch of listener questions. And Mike, I got to say, just people love you, man. They were really expecting big things.
Yeah, I know. I like I said, I'm pretty boring. I mean, depending on the topic,
It's all right. I mean, so are we. So I mean, it's fits right in.
Jake Brandon, I just want to call this out real fast. So Jake Brandon said, "Oh no."
Jake Brandon loved
it. It's okay. Me and Tom Stranger are going to kick the shit out of him and Wally this weekend when we play him. Best of 3.
Let's
go.
You
heard it here first. So we'll see it because we've seen Wally throw. I'm not afraid of that at all. Like at all. Like
Jake.
Oh.
So, Jake has gone from losing to me and my old partner 21-0 all the time to he's a stud now. I mean,
He was when he was playing.
oh, so maybe he's not playing this. I haven't seen Jake in a while. Actually.
Neither. I just like giving him shit. It's way more fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just it's better for him to think that he's not throwing that much and well.
I can't say anything. I've lost 3 points in PPR in the last 6 months, so I have mental issues on throwing bags. So, it's okay.
Honestly, just stop throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, I truly mean this. Like, I don't play hardly ever, maybe 3-4 times a year. But now when I get out, like I've been playing better now than I ever have by far.
Worked wonders for me too.
I think it's just because I don't care anymore. Because like when we first started this, we both had this this idea that we had to be decent. If we weren't at least good, like people weren't going to listen to us and our opinions didn't matter. So like I cared way too much and my performance suffered tremendously. Now when I go there, I'm like, I'm just so happy to be out of the house and seeing people that I like. And then I'm like, oh shit, like I'm actually playing well. Like, oh, this is fun. Is this why everyone liked it?
Yeah,
That's
exactly why.
Shit.
And it's not that you don't care.
What's that?
Can I throw a random plug out there?
Yeah, please.
I just started out with this cornhole coach because he started this app called Beyond Boards and Bags.
Yep. What's his name again?
Adriel Loschat.
Yeah. I talked to him like months ago and he gave me a link, I think, to like the trial version of it.
Yeah. So the app isn't exactly where I think it needs to be yet.
Yeah.
But it stores a lot of extremely cool analytical information.
Because they sent out an update email this week, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That's why. Okay.
So I'm in a contest working in it, but past 2 weeks I threw a 9-4 the first week and an 8-8 last week, and just by going through what we talked about, I wanted to work on the push shot. My pushes were incredible, but that's because I actually put a focus on the practice and I was actually seeing statistics of how it
for sure.
So it was nice to be able to actually track the statistics part to it. So look, I just wanted to toss out a little.
No, that's fine.
Shameless plug.
And honestly, like I know the original talk, he wanted us to review it, and I think Mike's Bags did a review of it on YouTube.
Yep.
I just never followed up with it because like he told me like don't do the review yet, like it's not even close to being ready. I'm like, all right, well just let me know when. So if he wants to hit us up again, that's fine. But I know at one point I talked to him a bunch about it.
No free plugs, so we'll send him a bill. All right.
I think that was a minute exactly.
Yeah, minute. Yeah, that's
makes it easy.
That's all right.
Easy math.
We'll round it up.
All right. So someone wants to know. Let me see. John wants to know: can they bring coolers to Delaware Cornhole events?
I mean, this is like a 10-year-old joke at this point, right?
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
I love John. John runs Oxford Cornhole. They're nice guys. Love them. So no, except for at my regionals where it's Dorothy and bring your own beer. So, it's a mixed answer there.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. Jeremy Smith wants to know what's the most overlooked aspect of being a successful director?
So I knew that was going to be asked because I saw it earlier.
It's okay.
I think being a director is super easy, right? Like all you do is show up, set up the boards and run a good tournament, right? Where I see the newer directors struggle is everybody tries to pander, right? So like this is going to be the most fun tournament ever. Okay. Is it though? Right. Like, so if we're throwing bags, it's going to be a fun, like, I hope you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, then stay home. Right. So I just think being real, being fair and being straight up, like, I'm just a straight up guy. Like, I'm not going to get too worried about if you complain or have a problem or whatever. Like, I'm just going to run the best tournament that I can run. And I think that newer directors definitely get tied up in being liked, being everybody's best friend.
Well, I think a lot of times when you're a new director, you're so afraid of like, oh, like if they don't have a good time, they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
Like where you have been around long enough, like you at this point, like they're going to fucking come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have to worry about that.
They're not all going to come back, but the people that will bring new people.
Yeah, for sure.
You just
exactly.
rinse and repeat until people stick around.
Yep.
My goal is at the end, if exactly what you just said, if someone's talking to their buddy and says, I played in this cornhole tournament on Tuesday, was it a good time? And they will say, yeah. Right. Or whatever. But, I think that's the farce that we're in right now is like, this is the most fun tournament ever. Well, they're all the same.
We tried that avenue, and we actually had a really fun tournament, but nobody wanted to listen to us, so fell to the
Well,
wayside.
that'll happen too, of course.
Thanks, Paradise Grills. Took all of our people.
Well, speaking
Oh no.
speaking of that, Thomas Stranger wants to know what's the weather forecast for next year's Paradise Grill tournament. You guys busted
It'll
out the
definitely be,
Farmer's Almanac.
Yes, it'll definitely have a rain forecast up
Okay.
until around Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Then I'll have to, talk people off the ledge by
Fair enough.
Thursday.
Okay. I like that.
We'll be okay.
Let's see. All right, so I gotta ask, what's the inside joke? Are you like a Jalen Hurts like diehard dude? Like,
So I grew up 20 minutes from Philly.
okay, I'm sorry.
I am a lifelong Philly sports fan
Okay.
of everything. Eagles, Sixers, Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, and I don't really watch hockey, but
Okay.
I'll watch some playoff hockey.
Okay.
I hate Jalen Hurts. I think he's the most overrated player in the history of the NFL.
Okay.
And people love to razz me about it on a daily basis. I think he's a game manager. And
Well, you must have loved the start to the season then.
So, it's been the same thing. I'm consistent, right? He's in year 5.
Yeah.
Everyone else is inconsistent. They'll be like, he's the greatest quarterback ever. We hate him. He sucks. He's the greatest quarterback ever. Right now, he's the greatest quarterback ever because they've won 5 straight, which
Yeah.
I'm an Eagles fan first. So, of course, I love it. I usually this year my schedule hasn't helped me, but I usually go to every home game. And I love the Eagles, but I just think that Hurts is a game manager and people love to bust on me. So if they were 0-5 the last 5 games, no one would have put that on the.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely. No, I get that. Listen, just stay consistent. As long as you're consistent, like you're
I'm
good.
consistent. I haven't moved at all. He's a game manager at best.
All right. Joey wants to know how many surf sides do you consume while running a typical Delaware Cornhole regional?
It depends how many I put in the cooler in the morning.
Fair enough.
So, it could be anywhere from 6 to 15. It all
I like that
depends on
the bottom number was 6.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
that
Just one 6-pack with hopes of being re-upped at the venue.
Yeah. So, and then of course my friends are always bringing me shots of Fireball or whatever else are there. So they take care of me.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, I have to ask this now that I know about the Jalen Hurts. What ACL pro reminds you the most of Jalen Hurts and why?
So my answer is going to go right back on you. Who is the most overrated pro that you know on good circumstance, right? So all right, let me back up. So what pro benefits from having the best possible partner? Because that would be the pro that I would go with. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know all the pros like I used to. So
I'm just trying to think because like most of them like partner
pretty
up.
even,
Yeah,
right?
there's so many of them that partner up really well right now. Oh man, who would I think? Man,
I don't know.
Man, I don't want to. I'm not gonna do it.
I know that's a tough one. I didn't really want.
No,
you to
no, no.
answer
It's no. I like answering these kind of questions though. It's fun.
Yeah, like it really is racking my
I-
brain. I'm not
okay.
afraid to say a name.
The original one that
that.
popped in
Shout
my
out Logan
head.
Duper, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we were just talking about him, and he and the bracket that he won was super impressive at BagMania. Like his side of the bracket was loaded with people.
Yeah,
Like, he took down Devin Harbaugh, who hasn't like lost ever. It seems like.
Yeah, he's ridiculous, by the way. And I only bring him up because I don't think the rest of the country knew who he was.
I've
And I
heard
think
the name a bunch. Like I've seen the name a bunch, and I knew he was really good. I just hadn't had the opportunity to actually watch him throw that much, and he's really fun to watch.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah.
He's going to go places. I don't know how old he is, but he's going to go places.
Have you thought of any? So my original thought, and I
want to
hate
see.
doing this.
I want to see if we're linked on the same original thought.
Not so much right now, but when they were playing together like 2 years ago, I had Schermerhorn and Neistat, and I had Schermerhorn being that person only because statistically speaking, he was not holding up his end of the bargain. And again, we talked about it a lot 2 years ago that they were a statistical anomaly. That the fact that they won 2 of their brackets, like they had no business winning the brackets, but they popped up. But not saying that's the case anymore. Man, with all
So
the
that
new
was your
partners
jail
and
entry.
stuff, damn.
That'd be his. Yeah, I mean
180 yards a game passing, but you're winning games, right?
It's so hard because it's early in the season too. So I'm trying to remember like all the new pairings and stuff.
I mean, one of the ones that popped in. I mean,
Okay.
because he was prolific, much like Jalen Hurts in college, and then has kind of faltered down the line. But I was going to go with Modlin.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I don't hate
brought
it,
in
actually, yeah.
Bubenheim and then Graham after that,
does
and
kinda
still
just
found some
surround-
success.
This
Yeah.
is where I'm OG though, right? Like Modlin's like so OG.
I know that's what.
He's a great
But
dude.
again, don't forget Jalen Hurts for Alabama before he got replaced by Tua.
And I'm sure Jalen does a bunch of work for the community and is a swell guy off the field. You know what I mean? But we're talking about performance on the goddamn field. Don't try to butter it up. No, I like that. Frank Modlin's Jalen Hurts.
I'm not saying that.
You wimp.
Frank knows we love him.
Yeah,
It's all right. I mean, no slight. He's still got sauce,
Joe Harsh.
much like Jalen Hurts.
Joe wants to know, how do I go about creating another league in an already oversaturated market?
I think Joe Harsh knows.
He
how.
does.
Joe's just messing with me, of course. But I mean, it goes to the point where over here where we are, because Joe's about an hour from me. We are oversaturated. But yeah, that's just create a club on Scorholio and go right to town.
Just let it
That's how
rip.
For sure. I do want to give a shout out to Andrew Lehan. I know you had mentioned him a bunch. I'm assuming he was asking the leading question. I'm sure he's your role model.
He is Andrew Lehan. He is where I'm a basic guy who just does what I feel I need to do every time. Andrew created, Bag Pong, which had 4 million views on TikTok. He created bowling bags, which we run every Thursday. He's as sharp as they come. He's the quiet one though, so he never approves of anything I say or do. But he's a rock star. He's the original owner of Delaware Cornhole, and I love the guy. He's the best.
So I want to bring back like an OG question. We haven't asked this one in a very long time.
Okay.
I want to hear your guys' Crew Cup dream team.
AJ, you can go first on that.
You
buddy.
can put yourself on the team if you think you're good enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you can, let's say you were playing for $1 million. You got to put together a squad that's going to win you $1 million. Who are you putting out on the boards?
Look, I got to go with my favorites.
Okay.
I want Devin Harbaugh.
Okay.
I want Trey Birchfield.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a random one up there only because I just really like the dude, Juwan Smith.
Okay. That's very random, but I like it.
Yeah,
That might have been the first. That might have been the second Juwan Smith reference on this ever.
The other time was when he was standing in front of us.
And he has a crazy grip, right?
Yeah,
Isn't he the one with
crazy grip.
like the flat bat? Yeah. Yeah. It's like on his
literally holds
fingertips,
the
right?
bag
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
He was the first human being that I didn't know his name and was in the like Super Hole or whatever it was.
So he's also like the one guy that like athletically be like, oh, okay, like we are also athletes. Not like, you know what I mean? Like there's not, we don't get like a
It's
lot
like
of
him
those.
and Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
Like, thank God.
Basically. Pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw Tony Smith on there. That's my last one.
Okay. We brought Tony briefly. I don't know what to think about Tony Smith right now. He hasn't really made a splash in a whole lot of stuff recently. So I'll be interested to see how
I
the
just had my
season.
best conversation ever with him, and I know what he's capable of.
Oh, for sure. Oh, he's a phenomenal guy. Like I'm sure once the season actually kicks off, it'll be fine.
He'll be in the right spot.
All right, Mike, I'm interested.
So first of all, Devin Harbaugh is my favorite pro of all time. He just is.
He's such a nice dude.
Every time he comes he's been in Paradise every year.
Well, no shit. He likes your guys' tournament. He wins it every fucking year. Like, yeah, I'm sure he's like, yeah, he loves you. Like,
he's come to plenty of regionals, other tournaments.
Yeah.
He's just awesome. I love Devin. Pre-COVID, John Kitchen, I would take over anyone in the world ever. Just so you guys know, and that's a homer shout out right there. But
okay,
he went the toughest field in the history of cornhole when he won Devour Man of the Year.
He did.
His partner back then was Jamie Hudson, who you guys may or may not even know.
No, I had. He was at the what's the ball Salted Rim. He was there, not this year, but the year before. So me and him shot the shit. I think he was in one of my videos. I made him tell me what bag he was throwing or something random.
He is one of my favorite players of all time. Again, he hasn't played in forever. He's an OG.
Yes.
I mean, and then going back to OGs, Tim Pitcher was my favorite player when I first started. He was the man.
Is he playing again this year?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Like, but
You
that's
guys-
I have no I don't remember seeing the name.
That's like his MO, isn't it?
Because who did he play with last year? Was it Leston?
I think so.
I think he played with
I
Leston
love
last
Leston,
year.
by the
Oh yeah,
way.
me too.
Like,
Yeah, he's a really
Wouldn't
nice
they
dude.
have requalified together then?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like Timothy Pitcher has been one of those guys that I thought early on I wanted to have him on as a guest so much because I thought he was like a polarizing dude. Like he was on TV before. He's just a big strapping dude. Seems like he's got tons of personality. I know he had like a history of like mental health stuff going on, and then he stepped away from the game and he came back last year. It just never quite worked out. But I don't even think I've ever had a chance to like sit down and actually ever even introduce myself to the guy. But yeah, he's definitely a big name in the game for anyone that's been around for I'd say more than 5 years.
Yep.
That's a hell of a squad.
We're going back to OG land, right? So
Hell yeah.
that's the first national I ever went to was in Green Bay, and that had to be 2018, maybe.
Okay.
And I mean, those guys were all playing on the big stage. I think it was Ryan and Pitcher against Matt Guy, and I can't remember who Matt Guy's partner was, but
Who do you film with?
I mean, this is 2018, right?
I mean,
So
you're
that's
like
the first-
you're talking about like Van de Veers and all those throwbacks.
Yeah.
Talk about wow. I wish they were still relevant.
Dude.
They were such a fun interview. Oh my god,
They really were.
Jesus, man, just let them go.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even have to say a word with them.
No, she's like, do you want to know more shit? I'm like, yeah, yes, I do.
Of course I do.
yeah.
Please.
So that was awesome, right? Back then. I mean, and I hate to always be the old man in the room, right, with stuff like that, but that's what kicked off cornhole. I mean, it really is.
Oh yeah.
Those TV matches and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like.
That's what it kind of got me a little bit interested is like those early ESPN broadcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, like those watching vintage James Baldwin throw on the shades and just raining airmails all over everyone. And I'm thinking like, this guy ever
That
fucking
little
miss?
quick just toss, just throw it in the hole, like
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
Yep,
So
for sure.
very fun. Very fun. Well, boys, thanks for joining. This has been fun.
Hold on. Can we do one more
Please.
tier talk? Can we do a tier talk?
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's Dane. What do you have for us?
Oh God. I mean, I was planning a word association.
Well, what about
today.
we were talking about cards? Can we go something like the card route? Could you like our favorite players we want like collected? Like, did you guys collect cards and stuff growing up?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do that.
All right, I'm down with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I already know you're number one.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick
that's
us off
easy.
then?
Yeah, I can kick us off.
All right, go ahead.
So, growing up, I was definitely biggest into baseball cards
Yes.
and then basketball cards, and then never really quite got into the football realm. But honorable mention, I will go with Craig Biggio.
Yeah,
Used to have a ton of Craig Biggio cards. I loved his game, and people forget he started as a catcher, and he was a damn good one too. After that, dude, I'm gonna go with another baseball. He played with the Indians only for a short stint, but I have so many of his cards, and he's a little before my time. But Oral Hershiser,
Yeah, you do.
I have tons of Oral Hershiser cards. Again, he's kind of the reason why I loved pitching. Was he kind of sparked it for me? Number 3, I'm going to switch it over to basketball, and I'm going to go with Allen Iverson.
You do.
Loved AI. Me and my neighbor Brian were all about the AI movement at the time, and yeah, he was fun to watch. Number 2, gonna stick with basketball, and I'm going with Kevin Garnett, another one that just had a lot of cool cards.
Oh yeah.
Like, loved collecting them because like the Timberwolves like old logo was sweet, and he had a bunch of him with Wally Zerbiak on it. Loved that duo. The number 1, the creme de la creme, back to baseball, the greatest baseball player to ever swing a bat, and that's George Kenneth Griffey Jr., aka Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
Hell
I
yeah!
could have told you that.
Nah, just for those of that at home that don't know.
It was like one of those, like when we got cards as a kid, if I had Griffey, I just like had to hand it over.
Yep.
One of those situations.
When that was
so.
me with A-Rod or Brett Favre.
It's true.
You love
Not
those.
to give my answer.
It's okay.
It's all good.
You can
All right,
let it
AJ,
rip whenever.
let's hear it.
All right, so my honorable mention is going to be because in my adulthood I am a Phillies fan. My honorable mention is Bryce Harper, and it's more only because I don't collect so many cards today. Number 3 would be Ryan Howard.
Okay.
Number 2, I grew up a Yankee fan.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah. So Derek Jeter is going to be my number 2, but I don't know. I got to go back to my captain when I was growing up. My number 1's Don Mattingly.
Oh, okay.
I have a huge Don Mattingly collection.
That's crazy. Of all the good Yankees players, and you pick
Don Mattingly.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, his rookie year. His rookie year was the year I was born, and I don't know. I just followed along. But in high school, like I got out of sports for a while, and then I went to school up by New York City, and everything was Yankees Mets. And my roommates would spend the night outside Shea Stadium to get Yankee Mets tickets, and I got real big back into baseball again. And when I came home, nothing's Yankees. So I was like, oh, Phillies. I was like, one's AL, one's NL. I don't have to worry about them ever having to play each other. And then they played in the World Series against each other. And I was like, oh, let's go 7 games. So,
yeah, that's an embarrassment of riches. Oh, I feel so bad for you. All right, yeah. Like, we're from Cleveland. Don't forget. What are championships? All right, thanks, LeBron.
Mike, let me hear it.
So what do I got? 4 I need?
Well, I mean, really a top 3, but if you want to throw an honorable mention, you're more than welcome to.
Top 3, but I grew up, like I said, 20 minutes from Philly, but a 3-minute walk was to Blue Rock Stadium, which was a single A affiliate of the Kansas City Royals.
No shit. Okay.
So I used to go down there every day in the summertime and shag fly balls for them and hang out with them and have a good time. Johnny Damon would be my number 3, simply because, and I'm just thinking back to the baseball card era that I grew up. Johnny Damon was awesome. Even though he was a Yankee and a Red Sox.
I know.
Still an awesome dude. Never forget it. Give me free tickets to every game. I love the dude. Super awesome dude. Being a center fielder my whole entire life. Number 2 is Ken Griffey Jr.
Hell yeah. No, I liked you.
And then, of course, because of the 93 Phillies, my number 1 of all time is Lenny Dykstra.
Okay. That's a solid one.
Always love that dude. Even though he's a nut job now, he was the epitome of a leadoff hitter, center fielder, especially for the 93 Phillies.
I say he's kind of a nutball on the field too.
Well, that part was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it kind of fits his personality.
Yeah. He was during the era of Darryl Strawberry. All right. So how big of a nut job can he really be?
Well, that's true. Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden were.
But he used it to his advantage pretty well.
They were all teammates in '86 when they went to the World Series. So, yeah.
Fueled by nose candy.
Yes.
Nose candy and psychedelics.
Correct.
Baseball.
What a wild
What
time.
a game.
What a wild time.
Is that where we're missing in cornhole?
Yeah. I mean, well.
Never mind.
All right. So honorable mentions. I have some 2 very random ones, but just growing up, I was always just a big fan of that. Barry Sanders is one of them. Just loved watching that dude. He's a human highlight reel. Jason Williams. All right, just 2 guys I always really just as an athlete. And there's one random one that most people are going to hear this and be like, who? But you'll know why. Brian Giles.
Oh, yeah.
Random left, right fielder, played for the Padres for a bunch.
Hey, not random. That dude had a great long career that
he ended
people
up
always overshadow.
He was very nice to our mom. He sat next to our mom on a flight when she was traveling all the time for work. And my mom's like, oh, you're like, yeah, she doesn't know sports at all. She's like, oh, you're a well-built dude. Like, she's like, oh, do you happen to be an athlete? He's like, I'm a baseball. He's like, oh, I have 2 boys. Like, she doesn't know who the fuck this guy is. And he signed an autograph for her, brought it home. So ever since then, I'm like, Brian Giles, my dude.
Yep.
So
you're the man.
My number 3, my favorite Cleveland Indian, probably of all time, Carlos Baerga. Just love Carlos Baerga. I was a second baseman, which is always
fun fact. He does our Spanish call
so great.
For the Indians games now. So
yes, my number 2, Brett Favre was easy one for me. Just growing up, he was my favorite football player. And then my number 1's A-Rod. He was always my number 1. I probably have 200 A-Rod cards sitting somewhere at my parents' house somewhere that they're now worth fucking shit.
Yeah.
But hey, it doesn't matter. I had fun. I had fun at the time.
Bonus question for everyone. What is that one card?
Like your favorite card?
What is the one
Okay.
card?
I have a clear.
My minor league Derek Jeter card that I got when
Ooh.
the Trenton Thunder was playing in Wilmington while their stadium was being built.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
I don't
like
even
that
know if
one.
it's worth anything. I just remember getting it and I remember trading way too much for it because I just wanted it. It was an all clear A-Rod card, but it has like a piece of like his Texas uniform like into it, like built into the card. It's sweet. Like and like again, like I should probably find these somewhere, but that was like always like my favorite card like that I needed.
I thought you were going to go with the Brett Favre coin.
I you know what the problem
one
is? I
was-
fucked that one up because I popped the coin out.
Yeah,
and
and
like
that
now
one-
that I know, like, you know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, like you don't think about these things. But now that I'm like,
'Cause that one's
watching,
actually like hard to find.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's
it's
a pretty rare card, but
yeah, like it had like a Brett Favre gold coin like built into the card. Now I'm a little kid, like I want this fucking thing to pop it out, and then not realizing like, oh, you just fucked everything up.
you ruined it. Mine was definitely my Griffey Swingman. The OG is just Griffey's signature finishing pose, and then like it was just like a like light blue and navy blue like swirl background. It was fucking dope. Love that card.
Fair enough.
All right, so I got two. Obviously Don Mattingly, his
Yes.
Don Russ card. However, this card, since what happened, I got a Johnny Gaudreau.
Oh, nice.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
He only lived around the corner from me. Like where he passed away, like is within walking distance from my house.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so my wife was like real choked up about that. But I don't know. Ever since that happened, this is probably one of my biggest cards.
I mean, honestly, it's got to be worth something now. I mean, it sounds terrible, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
it's not signing anything anymore.
take advantage
Well,
while the
it's not
iron's hot.
certified because he signed it at home. But
I got it.
18 out of 799. I don't know. I picked it up. He's a local guy.
Yeah.
It
I get
was
that.
exciting to see someone local make it that big.
Oh yeah, sure is. Thank you. I almost skipped over to your talk, so thank you for reminding me.
That was a good
Oh
one.
no, I was excited. As soon as you asked me, I was like, oh, I get to do it here.
Hell yeah.
I was going to do a fun word association, something a little different, but we'll save it. We'll
Yeah.
save it for another week.
There's other things I have written down that I want to start getting back into. Like I had way too much fun. I can't remember who we did it with, like using pros as like movie characters.
That was a good
Like,
one.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We'll
we
get back to
definitely need to workshop that one a bit.
We will. But again, the season's kind of winding down. I mean, I know it just started, but like this is kind of like that. Like the beginning
It's
of
a
the
lull
ACL
period.
season, it is a lull period. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like let's get past the holidays. We're all just waiting for it. And then when we don't think we're ever going to see the sunlight again, that's when I really start hammering this home.
Hell yeah.
So, but boys, thank you very much for joining us. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
anytime. We'll have you guys on again. But hope you guys enjoyed the interview. We'll be back again next week with more audio gold. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but four baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
See you, boys.
Deuces.